Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity, Ezel back into the Card Fight Vanguard as in the Vanity Buku reveals. If you enjoyed them, like, comment, subscribe, and 1 star, shall we? So this time we are covering some more reveals. I wish I had paid attention to that message before, whether... I don't remember. They're revealing a new ride line this week. It's either they're revealing it today and it's a hero ride line from Brantgate, but not the CEO one, or it is a card from the anime. If it is that one, then I know what they're revealing. If it's not, then it's the ride line. Either way, we have some really cool reveals. Interestingly, I question one of them greatly because it shouldn't have been released this early, but we'll go ahead and look through them and you'll see my opinions on them. So first up, we have some cards from the Stoicheia set. Groovy Dragon, grade 3, 200 persona right, 13k base, auto rear when it attacks a Vanguard if you have 3 or more rear guards on your back row. Card boss when he gets plus 10 for the battle. Cool. So for my test play of Lyranorn, this is not really needed. Like, the deck, my deck personally, doesn't really use up that much counterblast. It does gain a good amount of power without this. I mean, if I really want to take a Tekken Groovy Dragon, but Groovy Dragon is not really that needed. Like, it's fine for a trial deck, but even just set 5 booster-wise for Lyranor support, it still doesn't need it. So, if you want to run Groovy, 2 of maybe, but that's pretty much it. Then we have Knight of Purity Theodore. Okay, we all know I typically hate Ride Line discard fodder just because, like, it's kind of useless to me. This time Theodore has proven me wrong on a grand scale. So grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 6k base, auto when discarded from your hand during your ride phase, you may call it to rearguard circle. I don't know what it's been about Theodore in particular, but he's not only the only ride line fodder, besides the one from Youthburg, that has shown up consistently when I need it to, but has been my saving grace for many games. And I don't know how to explain it. I think there is something between Theodore and my deck, and I cannot find out what it is, but whatever it is, I hope it doesn't stop. Theodore is a nice grade 1. I mean, granted, it's only 6k, so like, and it's only used for during the ride phase, that's a fair thing, but in Lyranorn, the one thing I figured out how to do with that deck is rush early, bring them to high damage, and then just murder them the fuck with Lyranorn. So, I don't know, Theodore works. I run him at a 3 of in my deck, and he's actually really good. Then we have some Youthburg cards. Knight of Destruction Friede, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Continuous guard circle. If you have a Vanguard Youth in its card name, it gets plus 5k shield. Cool, so it's a 10k shield if you have a Youth. It's an okay name. Okay. Then we have Melwis Schwartz, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear. One of these attacks if you have Vanguard Youth in its card name, Soul Blast, one of these gets plus 5 for the battle. It's okay. Both of these, like... The 5k shield is fine, though the one that has the Revolve Just thing is possibly better in my opinion. And then Schwartz, it's just the ride line grade 2. Like, I don't think this is worth it. If you want to run them, you run them at like 1 of techs each or like 2 of copies maybe, but I don't see the purpose in running them. Now this card. This card, every Stoicheia main or people that main Lyranorn might hate me for when I say this, but like... From my testing, I kid you not, this statement is 100% true, not even bias. This is the most useless grade 1 I have shoved in my Lyranorn deck. What I mean by that is it either doesn't show up, or the games that it does show up, it only stays in my hand or acts as discard fodder because my back row literally doesn't need it. So her skill, being a grade 1 boost 5k shield 8k base, is auto rear when the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard regardless of who it boosted. Put a grade 2 or less from your hand into your soul to draw a card. Now, you can take a... Basically, since it works with Lyranorn, you can take 2 times to hit with this. So at the very least, if you only had 1 of them on the board, so that possibly means, you know, possible 2 soul charge and draws. And I guess that's why people think it's good, because, you know, 2 free soul charges and you get to replace the card you send to soul. My issue with this is, not only does it have to hit, and Lyranorn's probably going through. The problem is the other rear guard ain't probably going through. My issue is, my back row never has space for this. Because... Grade 1 turn, or like when I read it to grade 2, my back row center is already filled. Grade 3 turn, if I haven't already filled up another part of my back row, I call 2 Lilani's, you know, the thing that if you have 6 units, it gets plus 5k power, and then boom, Biara is no longer useful, and not only that, but I literally already have all of my soul, like, consistently filled to 2 for me to use Lyranorn and a couple of other cards that turn, so Biara does absolutely nothing. Like, I have exactly what I need. The only thing she would do is, weirdly enough, decking me out faster. Like, I still run out of 4 of her in my deck, but she is genuinely the most useless grade 1 in that deck. If I had to drop someone for upgrade, it would be her in a heartbeat. Not even joking with you. To all you Stoicheia mains that want to come at me, I get it. I'm saying something vastly dumb, but literally, if you see me play with that deck, you know very damn well I am telling the truth. I give it a 4 of. Please don't kill me. Then we have Fun Marching, grade 3 normal order, Soul Blast 1 to play it until end of turn. All your grade 1 lowers get plus 5k power. So that's really nice. In the situation where you have to go all grade 1 lowers on your board, that basically means if you play like I do, all your back row is boosting for 18k at the very least, followed by the front row, again, if you had to go all grade 1 to lowers, being 10k, plus a Persona Ride, so all those fuckers are hitting for a 20. Actually, let's not count the Persona Ride, because if you boost the Vanguard with 3 18ks, that puts her to 67 if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's 67. It's 67 without Persona Rides or triggers. Yeah, Fun Marching is really good, especially for final turn moves, because it's literally just one Soul Blast, and then it pumps your board to astronomical numbers. My only thing is, I wish this was a set order, and that it was a cost to do that, but whatever. I like this card. I think it's cool. I love it. It pumps numbers in a stupid way, and I give it a 2-0 for this. Then we have Clapping Dragon, grade 3, Twin Jet, Persona Ride, 13k base. Auto when it's placed on rear when it's placed in front row rear guard circle from your hand. If you have 3 or more back row units, counterblast 1, draw 1. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 1 or grade 3 or grade, he gets plus 10k shield. Okay, well if you're gonna run one of the dragons between this and this, just run this one. Like, it gets the plus 10k for the turn, and you get a draw out of it to replace it. So I don't know. Clapping, like, I still don't run either of them, but Clapping is still a good card to run if you have to pick one. So I don't know. 2 of if you choose to run it. And then we have Upbeat Dragon. Anyone else think this reminds them of kind of like a slightly more upgraded version of Primeval Dragon, or like whatever that grade 2 was from, I think it's called Fruit of Sorts, right? That grade 2 from Neonectar that got the power for each grade 0. I feel like it's just that if that card was a boss monster and then it evolved into this. So anyways, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when it intercepts, if you have 2 or more grade 1 or lower rear guards in your back row, gets plus 10k shield. Okay, it's fine. It's a 15k interceptor. Like I said, just with set 5 cards, kind of not needed with even with the combo I use. Even if you don't use the combo I use, you can definitely build a deck without this. So take that as you will. It's an okay card, but I don't think you need the shield. And by the way, I don't run PGs in my Lyrino deck, and I'm saying I don't need this. So if me, the person that has the less defensive capabilities, says that this isn't needed, I feel like someone should listen to me on that. So 2, 3 of Upbeat, just saying. If you choose to run it, that is. Then we have Yielding Elf. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, act rear once per turn. If your Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, counterblast 2, draw a card. Okay, well, they can't all be winners. A counterblast 2 to draw 1, like, it's not, what am I saying? No, it's fucking horrible. Like, it's okay for a trial deck, but like, thank God it's a trial deck and not a fucking booster set card, because otherwise I'd question Bushy a lot. 2 of maybe 1 of tech. Give this man pity. Give him pity. He looks cool. Give him pity. Then we have Diabolos Girls Ivanka, or Ivanka, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear. When this unit attack hits, when the attack at this unit boosted hits a Vanguard, if you're in final rush, counterblast 1 and put the boosted rear guard to bottom. Draw a card, choose one of your other units that gets plus 5 for the turn. Okay, so you can kind of get a total of 6 attacks, 7 attacks with Unrivaled Bruce due to this. And what I mean by that is Marjorie first, do skills, Leonard, wait, trying to remember this combo loop. I don't remember what it was. God damn it, I really wish I did. Oh wait, no, I'm right. Yeah, Marjorie boosted by this. Marjorie sends something to Soul, plus 10. I mean, you don't have to do Marjorie, but you get the point. Plus 10, swings with numbers, they let it hit. Ivanka send Marjorie to bottom, do skills, then use Leonard to kill a column, use Leonard's skill, call the Marjorie, or call whatever you shift to Soul with Marjorie's effect or something better, swing with that unit, swing with Diabolos on Viral to Bruce, or any of the Bruces, do the skills, restand your front row, or restand the Vanguard, you get extra attacks, basically. Like, it's an interesting combo, frankly. I just learned that this week because I've never seen someone do it before, so, I don't know, like, Ivanka is an okay card. I mean, it leads to combo plays, but the fact that it has to make a unit hit is like 50-50, so I don't know. 2 of maybe, especially because there are better attacks you want to hit, like, I don't know, Leonard, Eden, etc. So 2 of Ivanka, she's okay, but like, not one of my favorite Diaboloses. Then we have Diabolos Madonna, Sienna, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 6k base. Auto when it's placed on rear from hand, put one of your other rear guards to Soul. Look at the top card, call it to rear guard, or put it to Soul. Why does that skill sound so familiar? Is that a card from Lyrica? I swear that's a skill from Lyrica, but if it's not, that's fine. But, whatever it is, it's still a good card. Like, it gets you something to soul, and you do get a call. Now, that call might just be worse, or it gets you an extra soul out of it. So, there's a 50-50 to Sienna. Me, personally, I ain't gonna run her, because I don't need her for that extra soul. But if you want to run her for that extra soul, go ahead and run her to 2 of. And then we have this motherfucker. Okay, this one right here. I'm not saying shit about his skill being bad, because it's not. My issue with it is this. Why are we giving a set 7 card before we get the releases of triple rares in set 2? This debuted in the anime, in like the Show Me My Soul segment at the end of the 2nd episode. For some reason, even though the guy, Michisaru, I don't fucking remember his name and I frankly don't care, didn't even use it. Why? Why are we getting this now? Why are we getting a set 7 card before we even get the extras of, like, the important stuff of set 6 out the way? Bushy, explain to me why the fuck we have this. Anyways, Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajeweled. Gotta say, that's actually a worse name than the other one, but whatever. Grade 3 Twin Drive Persona Ride, 13k base. Gotta say, he looks more like a wyvern this time to me. I don't know. He just seems like one. Or, like, maybe not a wyvern, but like a bird. Maybe, I don't know. That's what he feels like to me, not a dragon. So anyways, active Vanguard once per turn. Counterboss 1, Soul Charge 2. If the card Soul Charge were both of different grades, you may draw a card. So cool. Basically, he's just like a slightly upgraded thing. Like now you have to play Counterboss to use a skill, but on the upside, at least you possibly get a draw out of it to fill up your hand, and you get 2 different Soul Charges. So I do definitely like that skill, because there are occasions where the Soul Charge kind of comes against me, and most of the time I have extra Counterboss saved up, so the fact that Drajeweled can deal with that on his own is really nice. So that's a free draw. And Auto Van, when he attacks, same skill as the old one. Soul Blast 4 cards of different grades. Choose an opponent's Vanguard, draw, and to end of turn, their power decreases to 1, and it gets +1 critical. So I'm assuming the power can also increase or decrease as well based off the reminder text in Japanese. Or I might be wrong, and it just says it doesn't increase or decrease. Now, I can't read that Japanese, so I'm not exactly sure what it says. But let's just agree to disagree and say that it does say that it can increase like the other one. But, why, like, this... It's good is the thing. It's just, why the fuck did we get this first? Why are we getting this one before everyone else? Why? What reason is this? Is this a fake Drajeweled? Is there another evolution? But the Persona Ride one from the trial deck says otherwise. I don't know what to say think about this. Like, it's good. It genuinely is good. Like, fuck, at least we can replace the other one in the ride deck for free, but, like, actively questioning it is my thing. 4 though, I guess. So here we are with the next reveals, both of them being Aurora Battle Princess. So first up we have Aurora Battle Princess Crumpled Orchid, grade 3 Twin Drive Persona Ride, 13k base. Auto rare at the end of the battle, your Vanguard with Seraph and its card name attack. Counterboss 2, stand her, and your opponent chooses a grade 1 or greater from their your prison, and they return it to hand. So plus side, you get a multi-attacker. So that's good. Downside is, cost of Counterboss of 2 is a grade 3 for it, which is the sole reason why I'm not running it, and the fact that they get a card out of their prison for it, and since it's a grade 1 or greater, if you're playing against a grade 4 deck and they imprisoned a grade 4, basically you just gave them a free grade 4 back, and not to mention the fact that they could just get a PG from this, and then if this was astronomically big, because maybe you sacked the over this turn and you gave it to this thing, yeah, the PG is going to come and stop this. So Orchid's kind of like a double-edged sword where it can win you the game because it can get multi-attack, but it's also giving your opponent, like, advantage over the multi-attack, so not really sure what the point of Orchid's supposed to be. Kind of feels like they're just starting to release a lot more restanders just to, and extra crit givers just to benefit the extra 15k shield those triggers get, the special heals, which I guess makes sense. Maybe that's just me overthinking it, but I feel like that's what it is. Because we definitely know a lot more decks have gotten restandards, Drajeweled being one of them, and then Orchid being another restander. So, I don't know about Orchid. She seems fine. If she wasn't a grade 3, I would actually run her, because I just don't like running grade 3s in my Seraph deck outside of Seraph. So, we'll just run her out of 2 if you choose to run her. Then we have this card that you either run it or you don't, and that's Aurora Battle Princess Detain Cycler. So, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear. When she attacks into a Vanguard, Soul Blast 3 until end of the opponent's next turn. They cannot call cards by your prison's ability. Basically, anything that ends up in that prison staying there unless they manage to fetch it out via other means. Okay. That's good. It locks them down. I think the thing about prisons is it definitely dies to a lot of decks that just have a bunch of free resource gain. So the fact that they just get to call stuff out is good. Like Greedon, for example. You can argue to me all day that Greedon needs Counterblast. And yeah, that's true, but to get the job done, at least, it doesn't need Counterblast at all. I'm saying to get the job done, at least. Obviously, if you want to get the job fully done well, you're going to need the Counterblast, but just to get it done, you just need no Counterblast whatsoever. So Good, they can lock them down. My issue with that is that it's also a double-edged sword, because against the decks that don't need resources, or that, sorry, against the deck that do need resources to do plays and prison fucks them over, this is essentially a dead card because you don't want to play this because you're just giving them ways to avoid using those resources. So take that as you will. And then auto, when she's retired from your guard circle via any means, your opponent chooses up to 2 cards from their prison. They either call them to rear or add them to hand. So basically, if they ram into it, they can get multi-attack because it doesn't say open rear guard circles, or they bounce the cards to hand. Why, like, that is a double-edged sword on so many scales. Like, not only is it a Soul Blast 3 to lock them down, which, to be honest with you, some decks benefit a lot more from the lockdown than any other decks. Here, let me give you an example of one. What's a good example of a deck, actually? Nirvana, I guess, technically. Well, I've never struggled against Prism with Nirvana, so I can't really say Nirvana, but whatever. You get my argument. And then just, like, the fact they're getting to call multi-attack with it, it's like, I don't know about Detain. She's weird. I'll give her a 3 of. Well, no. 3 of is too much for her. It's either a 2 of, 1 of tech, or you just don't run her, because quite literally she is good in some situations and then, like, the worst thing you want to see in your hand, or at least that's how I see it. Okay, let's move on to our final reveals today. So first up, we have some Deer Days things, and I'm not really interested in Deer Days, or I wasn't before, and now it's actually got me hooked. So first up, the reason why I'm interested is now we have characters that are getting their own ace units. When the main characters in the game are getting their own ace units, that's what got me in here. So first up, Yuki's ace unit is Sword Saint Dragon Gramgrace, and then Kanji's ace unit is Demonic Prison Dragon Emperor Fafnir. Now the thing about Fafnir is a card you can only have at 1 copy. Interesting. I don't know why. What does Fafnir do that is that good that deserves a 1 copy restriction? And then just Gramgrace is fine the way it is. But anyways, we have news that if you buy a physical copy of the game, not so sure if it works for English or not, but if you buy a physical copy of the game, you get an early release of Gramgrace with it, you get a Fafnir, and I'm pretty sure you get the PG Blitz Order, or you get one of them. I'm pretty sure you get all of them though. And that's cool. And Fafnir, I'm not so sure about, but we know Gramgar is definitely going to be a set 8 card, so it's really nice that we're getting a early release of Gramgrace. Again, not so sure if Fafnir's ever going to get released or not in real life outside of that little freebie promo card, but still pretty cool. I'm very curious of what its skill is, if it really warrants a once per deck thing. And then we have Gramgrace, who looks fucking cool as hell. My thing is, they look like, and I agree with people in chat that saw this, shout out to Different Fried, by the way, thank you for giving me the ability to watch your stream, but what's it called? Gramgrace looks a lot like Garga, and I think that's really true. It looks amazing though as a Garga. I'm getting the vibes of that one Buddy Fight Omnilord, the Negro Buzz thing. And on Negro Buzz, I get like kind of Vanity Husk Destroyer thing. And hey, that's the namesake, Vanity Husk Destroyer, if that is actually him. Which, I doubt, but good job on you. This thing has a special place in my heart if that actually is based off Vanity Husk Destroyer. Then we have new cards based off from the anime. Now this is something I like, not this card specifically, but the other cards. So first we have Merciless Count Botis, grade 2, 200 persona, 13k base. Auto rear, when you soul blast 2 or more at the same time for your card's abilities, he gets +5 for the turn, and if you soul blast 3 or more, counter blast 1, choose a card from your drop zone, put it to soul, choose it to one of your opponent's rear guards with the same grade as that card, retire it. Count the number of cards for soul blast for 1 cost. So he's not once per turn, so if he soul blasted multiple card times, each time being 3 or more, and as long as you have the counter blast, he can keep getting 5k and getting a soul to, from drop to soul, and then retiring a rear guard. So I think it's really good. From my experience, Drajeweled does not need counter blast. I haven't tested out the new Drajeweled yet, but I'm definitely going to test it out later today. And I find him very interesting that this can potentially get a lot of plus power out of it. You can retire a bunch of units, and it basically reduces Drajewel's soul blast cost by a total of 1, since you can just send one of them back. And you get to retire rear guard while you're at it. All around Botis is actually really good. I'm not sure if I'm going to run Botis myself, because I really do like my other Drajeweled lineup, and I'm not really sure I feel comfortable losing it, but I think Botis is something I would I think I'd be willing to test out, so 2 to 3 of Botis in a Drajeweld deck. Now Diabolos. Here's my thing with Diabolos. I hated them in set 4 because they felt like they dropped the ball on power because Unrivaled Bruce took away from possible Persona rides. And I felt really bad about Diabolos for a long time because it always felt so weird holding up to turn 4. Yes, whenever I would go to turn 4 with Bruce, you could basically just one-shot the opponent there. Like, I would literally never have to go past turn 4 because I would win that turn. But, I kind of felt bad because, you know, Bruce never had a real attacking method outside of Final Rush because, all their skills were based around Final Rush, or most of their skills. And now we have cards that don't need Final Rush for their skills. For example, Diabolos Reverser Diandre, grade 2 intercept 5k shield 10k base. Really like his wing scheme, by the way, that looks cool. Auto when he's placed on rear from your soul. If you have a Vanguard with Bruce in its card name, he gets plus 10 until end of turn for every 2 cards in damage zone. Okay, now you may be thinking, why? Because outside of Leonard, there is no way to actually call from soul without doing Final Rush, but... or at least in a second, that skill is really good, because that's just, if you're on Final Rush turn, where you probably have 4 damage, this motherfucker's at 30k without a Persona Ride, or any other skills on his own. So my thing is, that's really good. The numbers he can hit for that is just freebie skills, and that's nice, especially if you can just keep swinging for even bigger numbers, and you can combine it with Evac to open up rearguard. Where is Evac? You can combine with Ivanka to open up rearguard circles, and Sienna and all that stuff. All around, he's actually really good, but not the star of the show, so I'll give him a 2 over a 3 of in a Bruce deck. But here's my star of the show. Diablo's Diver Julian. Now, before I get to its skill, and if you want to, you can read it while I'm talking, but basically, I have only run Marjorie as my grade 3 for all of the time I ran Bruce, and I hated that, because I really wanted to run a Diabolos unit, but none of the Diabolos units were good in my opinion, so I just ran Marjorie. This thing is not only better than Marjorie because of the numbers it can reach, but it's also better than Marjorie because you can use it without going into Final Rush. Also the art. So grade 3 200 Persona at 13k base. Really love the art. I love the wing design. I think that's fucking cool. I love the glasses. I love the horns. I love the football. I think this is the one thing about episode 2 I actually liked outside of, you know, getting to see some animations. You know what, set 2, I mean... Will Dress is getting me interested in the anime, so I really hope it keeps this up. But anyways, Julian is an act rearguard once per turn. When this unit attacks a Vanguard by counterblasting one, it gets plus 2k power till end of turn for each card in your damage zone. Okay, so if you're at 5, basically, it's just another Marjorie. Fair. But then if you had a Vanguard with Bruce in its card name, doesn't matter its grade, doesn't matter its specific name, just a Bruce, soul charge 1 for every 2 cards in your damage zone. So at max you get a soul charge of 2. Then, you can choose up to the same number of cards you soul charge by this effect and call them to an open rearguard circle. So, it's essentially a 15k swinger with just 1 damage, which is fine. But without having to hit, without having to lose a rearguard, you soul charge at least 1. If you're at 2 damage, you call something and you get multi-attack. And that's nice. I love this thing. I think that's really good. In fact, I think this thing is a better card to pull off that Leonard combo I was talking about earlier with, where you can combine it with, where's Ivanka? You can combine with Ivanka to swing with this thing, put it to bottom, swing with this thing, soul charge, call something like Leonard, do your swings, use Leonard, maybe do some other bullshit combo to open up that rearguard circle if you can, and then just restand the front row with Bruce. I wish it wasn't a once per turn, but if it wasn't a once per turn, this thing would be broken in premium. I love Julian. I think the skill is amazing. I'm so glad Bruce is finally getting support that, well, dedicated support that isn't just focused on Final Rush, and I think it's very fitting that it focuses on damage zone cards. I don't know why I feel like that. It's true, but it just feels really good that it focuses on damage zone cards. Alright, I think this thing's amazing, and I have never been so hyped up to test another card before outside of the grade 4s, so you all know I'm going to go test this right after this video. In fact, speaking of which, so I can go test this out right now along with the Drajeweled, I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.